It's no secret that the cost of living is up the roof right now, and one area that has been affected is definitely new car prices, which are at an all-time high. I recently went to a VW dealership to have a look at a brand new VW Polo R-Line. Definitely a beautiful car, more especially in this white paint. A car that is so popular in the streets of South Africa. Then I looked at the price, 547,000 rands. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't think this car is worth that kind of money. Let's break it down. Before we continue with the video, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel to help me grow and so you don't miss out on future videos. Your support is highly appreciated. Like really. I completely understand why the Polo R-Line has become one of the most desirable hatchbacks in South Africa. It's stylish, it wears the R badge, it's an R-Line, but it actually says R. It has a much more aggressive appearance than a standard Polo, and personally, I actually think in some cases, the front end looks even better than the Polo GTI. That glossy black lower grille gives it such a premium look. Compare that to the GTI's traditional black plastic finish, and in my opinion, the R-Line actually stands out just a bit more. Those small details make a massive difference. People love the styling, people love the badge, and for many buyers, that's enough. So I completely understand why it's such a popular choice. But popularity doesn't always mean value for money. And that's where I think things start to fall apart. The current recommended retail price for a brand new Polo R-Line in South Africa is 499,100 rands. So essentially R500,000 rand. Already, I think that's pushing it. But here's where things become even crazier. The moment you start adding options or find one sitting on a dealership floor with a few extras, you're no longer talking about 499,000 rands. You're talking about 530k, 550k, and in today's example, 547,000 rands. And I've even seen examples listed for around 570,000 rands. That is serious money. So out of curiosity, I decided to hop onto Volkswagen South Africa's configurator and build my own Polo R-Line just to see how far you can go with the price. I selected what I think most South Africans would actually want: the panoramic sunroof, IQ matrix headlights, the safety packages, a few cosmetic extras, and I even added the aluminium pedal set, which funny enough used to come standard when these cars first launched. But anyways, after ticking all the boxes, the final price came to 574,000 rands. 574k, guys, for a Polo R-Line. And that's where you lose me, because once you reach that kind of money, you're no longer comparing it with other Polos, you're comparing it with completely different cars. And this is where things get really interesting. By far the craziest comparison for me is that you can literally buy a brand new Polo GTI for the same money, or in some cases even less. Seriously, like how? How does Volkswagen South Africa allow that to happen? I genuinely don't know what goes into dealership pricing. Maybe there are dealer incentives, maybe it's factory allocations, maybe it's optional equipment. I honestly don't know. But from a customer's perspective, how do you justify paying more for the lesser model than the flagship performance model? To me, that simply doesn't make sense. I've seen multiple brand new Polo GTIs advertised for the same price or even cheaper than some Polo R-Line examples. And if that's the case, I genuinely don't know why anyone would choose the R-Line. Then I started looking outside of Volkswagen, and that's when things became even more interesting. Take the current generation Audi A3, specifically the pre-facelift model that arrived around 2022. Brand new, depending on the engine and specification, these cars sold for somewhere between 600,000 rands and 800,000 rands. Fast forward to today, most of the heavy depreciation has already happened. Yes, it will still depreciate over time, but nowhere near as aggressively as when it was brand new. And personally, I think it will probably hold its value better from this point than a brand new Polo R-Line bought today. For around 530,000 rands, you can buy a 2022 Audi A3 40 TFSI like this one. It comes with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine producing 140 kilowatts of power. Funny enough, that's the exact same engine you'll find in the Polo GTI. Only now, you're getting a bigger car, a more premium badge, a far more luxurious interior, Audi's virtual cockpit, better practicality, higher quality materials, and overall, it just feels like a more complete package. There's another thing many people overlook. This car came standard with a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer maintenance plan. Not a service plan, a maintenance plan. And there's a difference. A maintenance plan covers much more than just oil and filter changes. Things like brake pads, wiper blades, and other wear and tear items are included. Being a 2022 model, it should still have roughly a year of maintenance plan remaining. And if you really wanted to, you could even extend it. Now, yes, this particular example has around 53,000 kilometers on the clock. I know some people aren't comfortable buying used cars, but honestly, 53,000 kilometers is practically nothing these days. I know this because my own 2016 Golf R-Line has well over 220,000 kilometers on it, and it still runs perfectly. If you service a modern car properly, there's absolutely no reason it can't serve you reliably for many more years. And if you don't need the extra power, there's another Audi A3 that makes even more sense, the 1.4 liter TFSI producing 110 kilowatts of power. I've found examples like this 2024 model with around 40,000 kilometers selling for 489,000 rands. There's another wide example at a very similar price. Sure, it's not as powerful as the 40 TFSI, but compared to the Polo R-Line's 1 liter 3-cylinder producing just 85 kilowatts of power, I still think the Audi offers far better value for money. Have a look at some more Audi A3s you can get for this sort of money.
Hey, Mello, you're gonna have to let him breathe for a second.
And that's before we even start talking about the Chinese manufacturers. Because for the same money, or even significantly less, you could walk into a dealership and drive away in a brand new SUV. You'd get a longer warranty, modern technology, more interior space, and in many cases, far more standard equipment. Whether it's Haval, Chery, Jaku, or Moda, or several others, there's certainly no shortage of options in this price bracket. Then there's BMW. For around the same money, look at all the BMW 1 Series examples currently available. Then you've got the Mercedes-Benz A-Class. Again, these are some of the cars you can buy for very similar money. So when you really take a step back, you're not just choosing between a Polo R-Line and another Polo anymore. You're choosing between Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and a whole range of brand new Chinese SUVs. And that's exactly why I struggle to recommend buying a brand new Polo R-Line today. And I actually think it's one of the best looking hatchbacks on sale. But once you start pushing 500,000 rands plus, I think there are simply too many better ways to spend your money. But maybe I'm wrong. I would genuinely love to hear what you think. If you had around 570,000 rands to spend, would you still buy the Polo R-Line, or would you buy something completely different? Let me know down in the comments below, because I'm really interested to see where everyone stands on this one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's cheers from me.